In October 2017, a surprising and intriguing event took place in Rome. A statue of Martin Luther was erected in the Vatican. And why? Reportedly to participate in the commemorations of the Reformation of Christianity fashioned by Luther 500 years ago. Naturally, there was a great contentment among Lutherans and Protestants of all sorts, who viewed it as a radical about-turn of the Holy See regarding their religions. And more, some German Catholic bishops praised Luther as a, quote, religious pathfinder, a gospel witness and teacher of the faith, unquote. Really? Pope Francis himself told Lutheran pilgrims from Finland that Martin Luther's intention was, quote, to renew the church, not divide her, unquote. And the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity declared that after 50 years of dialogue, Catholics are now able to hear Luther's challenge for the church of today, recognizing him as a witness to the gospel. But history tells us quite a different story. The fact is that in his reformation, or rather deformation of the Christian faith, Luther introduced religious and moral relativism among Christians. Today, instead of having one Lord, one faith, and one baptism, Ephesians 4:5, in the one Church of God, the pillar and mainstay of the truth, 1 Timothy 3:15, there are thousands upon thousands of different churches, denominations, sects, affiliations, missions, movements, etc., etc., a vast myriad of different groups of people, everyone Bible in hand and claiming to be fully Christian, even though there are visceral contradictions among their creeds and moral codes in a total doctrinal and moral cacophony. But to defend the Catholic faith, a book was published titled Defense of the Seven Sacraments Against Martin Luther, which refutes in chapter and in verse Luther's heresies on the sacraments. It was written by Henry VIII, the King of England. In his book, Henry was helped by St. Thomas More and defended everything Catholic: the papacy, the indulgences for the souls in purgatory, confession, the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist, the Mass as a sacrifice, etc., etc. Everything just as you see in the Catholic Catechism today. Unfortunately, Henry did not keep the faith he had once defended so valiantly. He broke away from Rome and founded his own little national church in England. But this is the greatest irony in church history. Roman Catholics today can quote Henry VIII to refute Anglicanism and Protestantism in general. This is the New Millennium edition of the Royal Book of Catholic Apologetics by Henry VIII. It is accompanied by two CDs, one on the dechristianization of the West and the other on Jesus' real presence in the Eucharist, quoting Henry VIII. This book is unique in history. It was authored by a king, assisted by a saint, the great St. Thomas More, the glory of Catholic England, was acclaimed by a pope, His Holiness Leo X, who excommunicated Luther and gave the king the title Defender of the Faith. This New Millennium edition in English is dedicated to Queen Elizabeth II as a fraternal reminder to Her Majesty of the union between England and Rome, which lasted for well over 1,000 years. A copy was sent to Buckingham Palace, and Her Majesty graciously sent us a kind letter thanking for the gift. This English edition was also published in memoriam of the great Catholic action leader Plínio Correia de Oliveira, known as the Crusader of the 20th century. October 2018 marks the publication of the book in German, to be promoted in Luther's own country and language. Its preface was written by His Eminence Gerhard Cardinal Müller, the ex-prefect of the Roman Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, and the postface by His Excellency Athanasius Schneider, the heroic auxiliary bishop of Astana, Kazakhstan. See, we are in very good company here. There's only one person missing to complete the team: you. Order your copy today and join us in the fight to defend the authentic teachings of the Church on the sacraments that Jesus Christ gave to us for our salvation and to refute the heresies of Martin Luther. I'm Raymond de Souza. God bless you.